How often do you notice your mind drifting away from whatever it is you're doing? I remember reading a study once, and I wish I could find it again to cite it properly. Participants would randomly get a set of three texts during the day. They said, "What are you doing? What are you thinking about? And what are you feeling?" The results were fascinating. To me, what I took away is that what people were doing and what they were thinking about matched only about half the time. And here's what really stood out. When their mind and body were actually in the same place, doing the same thing, they more often reported feelings of happiness and more peace. See, that's the power of the present moment, even though it's often misunderstood. And by the way, I'm Dr. Matt Bedell, a licensed professional counselor supervisor and licensed chemical dependency counselor based in Allen, Texas. And this is Belonging Matters, where we explore how acceptance and commitment therapy principles apply to social anxiety recovery. For anyone learning to live with social anxiety, the present moment isn't just a mindfulness buzzword. It's where belonging begins. It's also a really challenging skill because the mind doesn't just wander, it time travels. And it travels for everyone, yet especially for those experiencing social anxiety. Sometimes the mind races ahead, replaying every possible outcome, every what if scenario, and often it's accompanied with this anticipation of rejection or criticism. So we try to protect ourselves from that pain. Other times it pulls us backwards, revisiting moments where we wish things would have gone differently. We wish we'd have said a different thing. And then we, in the present moment, cringe. We become an armadillo curling into a ball of humiliation. Why did I do that? Yet in the present moment, something unique can happen. You see, our past shapes how we feel right now, and what we choose right now becomes our past quickly. And then that shapes the future we'll live into. Said another way, without presence, we keep doing the same thing on repeat. And the present moment comes an opportunity to choose a new response, which quickly becomes the past that future us will remember again and again until a new habit forms. But we still need to pay attention to the moment. And yes, I'll admit it, it sounds a little cheesy that presence really is kind of a gift. But it's the only moment where we can actually help our future selves, and it's really as challenging or as easy as paying attention. The truth is, we don't suffer because of the future or the past. We suffer because we get lost in them. And the more we lose touch with this moment, the harder it becomes to feel grounded, connected, or like we even belong in our own lives. Now, quickly for clarity, we sometimes need to look in the past to understand the present, and we need to look in the future at times to plan our life. However, it's only in the present where we can act on any of that information. And for many of us, and for our clients, if you're a therapist, it's not that we don't know how to be mindful. It's that staying here in the present moment can feel really hard, especially if we're expecting it to be pleasant all the time. And sometimes it's vulnerable because, again, presence isn't always peaceful. It's simply just contact. And remember, simple is not the same as easy. It's simple to meet what's here, and it's hard because even with what's here, it may be uncomfortable. And that's also where healing begins. Because in this moment, not the one we wish for, not the one we regret, this moment is the only place where connection can grow. It's where we can finally come home to ourselves and to one another. You see, in acceptance and commitment therapy, we often say that the present moment is the only place life can actually happen. It's where we can observe our thoughts and emotions without becoming them. It's where we make our choices that align with what matters most, our values. And it's where belonging, both to ourselves and to others, truly occurs. Let's think about it. Shame, fear, regret, all of these emotions pull us out of the present moment. They anchor us to moments that have already passed or to moments that haven't even happened yet, and frankly, may not ever happen either. And when that happens, our attention narrows. We lose contact with what's actually happening right here. All the sensations, the people, the opportunities for connection, they all get missed. And when I'm sitting with the client, I can usually tell the moment that presence returns. It's subtle. Maybe their shoulders drop. Maybe their eyes soften. Maybe there's a small breath they didn't know they were holding. And that's the shift from surviving to being. Presence isn't about controlling your mind or forcing yourself to stay calm or feel pleasant. It's about noticing that your mind has probably wandered away and gently bringing it back over and over again. That practice is mindfulness if we don't judge our present moment. And that's also what allows compassion to rise. Because if I can notice my own wandering mind without judgment, then I can notice yours without judgment too. And that's how the present moment becomes a space for belonging, not through perfection or protection, instead through presence and connection. The present moment really is a fickle thing. It's constantly occurring and yet constantly fleeting, almost faster than awareness can even catch it. Even trying to define what it means to be present is rather tricky. Like if you take a picture, that's one tiny snapshot of a very specific present moment. If you were to define a full present moment as like watching a movie, well, then it'd be 2 hours long. And it'd be 30 seconds if you're saying it's present to study the photo. Or maybe a month of moments before, during, and after the picture. Ultimately, that's up to our minds to decide. You'll often hear people describe the present moment as a river or a wave, or even an act of savoring something, of letting life flow instead of suppressing it. And what all of these metaphors point to is the same truth, that these are moments where we can see that life is happening. Whether we like it or not, time is ticking along, no matter what is happening. Because once our basic needs are met, we got food, water, shelter, a little bit of money, and some people that care about us, then we start to see the truest reality of them all. The only universal scarcity in life is time. I once had a client who told me they felt like life was happening without them, like they were almost always there, hovering just outside of it. The life they wanted, just out of reach. And in that, they felt constantly overwhelmed, yet somehow unable to stop procrastinating and wasting time. Together, we started noticing the moments when their mind drifted at work, in conversations, and even while watching their kids play. They weren't doing anything wrong. Their mind was just time traveling, as it does about half the time. And slowly, through gentle awareness, they discovered that the goal wasn't to stop the drifting. It was simply to notice it and then return. Sometimes I use what I call my focus flashlight in my office. And truly, I actually keep a flashlight in my office for this moment. When I point it at the bookshelf, I'm focused there. And I say I don't have a focus problem. I can focus just fine, especially when something's interesting or novel. But sometimes I'm hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or just human, and the flashlight drifts. Suddenly, it's shining on the couch instead of the bookshelf. When I see that, that's not failure. It's noticing, oh, my light drifted. And I gently bring it back. That gentle refocusing is the present moment until it inevitably drifts again. And every time you notice and return, that's the practice of presence. And that's also where belonging occurs, not as a permanent state of being, rather as a lived moment to be cherished. Because being here isn't something we achieve, it's something we practice. And the more we return, the more we practice, the more we remember that we were never really lost, just momentarily carried away by the mind as it typically does. So maybe the invitation isn't to be present all the time. Remember, we need the past to understand and the future to plan. The practice is to be present at least half the time on purpose. Because if research tells us we're only truly here about half the time anyway, then being intentionally here for even half of that, well, that's a beautiful start. So maybe we can pause here together just for a moment. Not to get it right, not to force stillness, not to feel calm or at peace, just to notice and practice paying attention. Wherever you are, see if you can become aware of the space around you. Maybe the feeling of your feet on the ground or the air on your skin. Notice one small detail that tells you, I'm here. Maybe it's the way the light falls on the room, or the quiet rhythm of your own breathing. Remember, you don't have to change a thing. You're not trying to escape your thoughts or feelings or sensations. You're simply remembering that you are the one noticing them. They are happening in real time. This is the muscle of presence, the practice of gently returning again and again to what's here. And when we practice that kind of noticing, we start to see that belonging again isn't something that we have to earn through performance. It's something we touch every time we come home to this present moment. So as you move through the rest of your day or night, remember your invitation is this: to choose one moment to return to on purpose, to feel your feet on the floor, take one more deep breath, to look someone in the eyes and listen genuinely. And then remember, you are here. And even half the time is enough, because life, connection, and healing, they all happen here. So the present moment is where belonging begins. Not out there in some future version of yourself, and not buried in the past either. It's right here, in this breath, this room, this heartbeat. And if you're a clinician, maybe this is a reminder that presence is more than a skill we teach. It's a posture we model. When we can sit with our clients and not try to fix or rush them, we simply be present with them. We're inviting them to the same kind of belonging that we're practicing ourselves. And if you're someone who just happened to find this video, well, maybe your takeaway is even simpler. You don't have to be fully present all the time. You just have to try to return, even briefly, to the life that's already happening around you, no matter how good or how hard it feels. Remember, every return is a homecoming and a chance to make a different decision to reconnect. I want to close with a new concept to simmer in your minds, a little seed to plant that hopefully grows later. A new purpose for R&R. Instead of rest and relaxation in the present moment, let's recognize and reconnect. And if this resonates with you and you're a therapist, I give a much deeper explanation of social anxiety, ACT, and I include a trauma and shame-informed approach in my training linked down below. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.